you know, like a shift from whatever started in 2011. I actually was like borderline homeless. I lived in a van for 6 weeks, which led up to Martin Luther King Day of January 2018. I stayed in like 3 or 4 different people's places for short stints, and then right before the Super Bowl, I was staying on Webster Street, like 1905, and a neighbor of mine, their son had a house. They said I could stay there, but I still had to pay. They didn't just let me stay there, so I had to put out a GoFundMe page, and luckily was able to meet that. It was kind of a junky sophomore. It would be like, you know, some guy who never takes care of his place, like in a really bad way. So I was there during the Super Bowl, and they won. They won while I was sort of tucked away in 1905. I was listening to a radio of all things, and my mom didn't know. I didn't tell my mom and dad what was going on because it was so bizarre. It's hard to explain, but if someone were to come in and handle a situation invisibly, if you will, to pull me away from something very deadly and very sick and disturbed, which really has a lot of explaining to do about whoever was in charge, anyway, you know, this person came in, sort of shuffled me almost in a way underground-ish, to get me out of sight, if you will, so that they could figure out who needed to hunt for Sharon. Who needed to hunt that hard for Sharon? And then they found out who the bad guys were, like higher up in the world, not just people on the street who are, you know, play out stupid games or whatever. Windy down here by Spruce. We have rivers on the east and west side. We have the Schuylkill all the way over around 24th, 25th Street. We really don't have a 25th Street. And then the Delaware all the way over. I wanted to see if this guy would be an asshole pulling this lane just to be dumb. No one needs to pull in this lane here. They shouldn't even have a turn lane here. This guy turned around, made a U-turn. So it's 6 o'clock in the morning. No one needs to make a left-hand turn on this roost. And they shouldn't even have a left-hand turn lane, to be honest. So I don't know why they have one here. Broad Street's one of these streets where you just make U-turns, right? And try to get to wherever you're going, and always make a right-hand turn off the street. So believe it or not, all of this jam-packed. And for the playoffs, they have a drone footage of just how far the crowds go packed, you know. And it's because people basically rush out from their streets to Broad Street. They come out in full force. The Philly fans aren't joking around. They're known as ruffians. Certain portions, I guess, but they're known to you know, hold grudges or have a little something to say. They're pretty tough, you know, and some sports figures actually want to they have switched out of Philadelphia professional players because they don't love the tone in Philly, so it can be pretty old school, and, you know, technically abusive is what, you know, so straight here. So I'm walking from City Hall. I'm pretty far away from City Hall now, down to right around South Street. So we're outnumbered. Are we going all the way to South? It's interesting how the vibe and the tone changes, because somewhere in the past, like, you know, 100 feet or whatever, the tenor changed and I'm a little bit angry. And it's not because there's a car that pulled into left-hand lane there. That's not really it. There is a different vibe down here. So, you know, here come a bunch of cars also, but there's a different energy, and, you know, it's kind of in the realm of, you know, why are some people more temperamental or angry, or, you know, who's in charge down here, because they just create anger. That's about it, you know. That's all I can tell. Should I go to Exxon or go here? We have a crosswalk. So this is South Street, and they had salt for yesterday. The weather changed. The weather, and typically all salt down here. We were supposed to have snow yesterday, it didn't turn out that way, but we're supposedly going to get some Tuesday, Wednesday, sometime midweek. So that's the walk from City Hall, and should the Eagles win, and I hope they do, that'll be jam-packed.